Introduction: the hidden dangers after every meal. Most diabetics worry about what they eat, but very few pay attention to what happens after, because even if you eat healthy, the hours after your meal can quietly decide whether your blood sugar stays stable or surges out of control. Here's the truth: it's not just about carbs or calories, it's about the hidden habits you do right after eating, the things that seem harmless but actually trap sugar in your bloodstream, trigger insulin spikes, and leave you tired, bloated, and craving more food. In today's video, we'll uncover 10 things every diabetic should never do after eating, and how each one secretly pushes your glucose higher. By the end, you'll know exactly what to change to protect your pancreas, your heart, and your long-term energy. Before we start, I want to hear from you. What's the biggest struggle you face after eating? Comment below with your answer. I read every single one, and if you're new here, subscribe now because I share new science-backed diabetic health tips every day that could completely change your life. Let's begin with the first mistake that almost everyone makes. Mistake number 1. Lying down right after a meal. It's tempting. You finish eating, feel full, and think, I'll just rest for a minute. But that small decision could be quietly destroying your blood sugar control. Here's why. When you lie down after eating, your digestive system slows dramatically. Your stomach can't move food downward properly, so glucose stays trapped longer, flooding your bloodstream over time. This also increases acid reflux, indigestion, and insulin resistance. In a study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, people who reclined within 30 minutes after eating had 25% higher post-meal glucose spikes compared to those who remained upright or walked lightly. The fix is simple: stay upright for at least 45 minutes after meals. Even better, take a gentle walk. Just 10 minutes can reduce blood sugar levels by nearly 22%. It's one of the easiest, fastest ways to control glucose naturally. No pills, no supplements. So before you reach for the couch, stand, move, or clean up the kitchen. Your pancreas will thank you. Have you ever felt sleepy after lunch or dinner? That's your blood sugar talking. Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more simple fixes like this one. Mistake 2. Eating fruit immediately after meals. It sounds healthy, but eating fruit right after your meal can quietly sabotage your blood sugar. Here's the science behind it. Fruits contain natural sugars, mainly fructose and glucose, which digest rapidly. But when you eat them on top of a full meal, your stomach is already processing complex carbs, proteins, and fats. That means the fruit sugar sits and ferments, slowing digestion, spiking glucose, and often leading to gas and bloating. Researchers from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diabetics who consumed fruit immediately after a carb-heavy meal experienced a 34% higher glucose response compared to those who waited at least 2 hours. So what's the right approach? Eat fruit alone or at least 2 hours after meals when your stomach is empty. That's when your body can absorb its vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber properly without overwhelming your insulin response. Try having berries as a mid-morning or mid-afternoon snack instead. They balance glucose and reduce cravings naturally. What's your favorite fruit to eat as a snack? Comment below, and if you're learning something new, hit that subscribe button to stay ahead of your blood sugar. Mistake number 3. Drinking cold water right after eating. Most people think cold water helps refresh digestion, but for diabetics, it can actually freeze it. When you drink cold water immediately after a meal, it solidifies the fats in your food, slowing the digestive process. That means your stomach takes longer to empty, and your blood sugar stays elevated for hours. In one study from the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition, participants who drank cold water after a fatty meal showed delayed gastric emptying by up to 30% compared to those who drank warm or room temperature water. This delay causes a chain reaction: higher glucose levels, prolonged insulin demand, and greater fatigue after eating. It also leads to bloating and digestive discomfort that many mistake for just getting older. The solution: drink warm or room temperature water after meals. It supports smoother digestion, helps break down fats efficiently, and improves insulin sensitivity. You'll also find that drinking a glass of warm water with lemon or cinnamon right after eating helps balance pH levels and reduce post-meal spikes. Have you noticed feeling sleepy or heavy after drinking cold water? Tell me below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for daily science-based diabetic health tips that can truly transform your energy and glucose control. Mistake number 4. Sitting for hours after eating. The modern world makes this one almost unavoidable. You eat breakfast, sit to check emails. Eat lunch, sit again. By the end of the day, your glucose has been trapped in your bloodstream for hours. Here's what happens inside your body. When you sit, your large muscles, especially in your legs, shut down their glucose uptake. That means your blood sugar stays elevated longer, and insulin has to work harder to bring it down. A diabetes care study found that standing or walking for just 3 minutes every 30 minutes after a meal reduced blood sugar by up to 34% in adults with type 2 diabetes. That's more powerful than many medications. If you can't take long walks, try this simple routine. After eating, set a timer for 20 minutes. Stand, stretch your legs, or walk around your house or office. Even light movement, like folding clothes or washing dishes, activates your muscle glucose pumps. This habit doesn't just improve sugar control, it also reduces inflammation, prevents weight gain, and helps your heart. So the next time you eat, don't reach for the chair. Move your body, even for a few minutes. It could be the difference between steady blood sugar and another hidden spike.
Mistake 5, drinking coffee right after a meal. For most people, a post-meal coffee feels like a harmless routine or even healthy, but for diabetics, it can quietly raise blood sugar when your body is least ready for it. Here's why. Caffeine temporarily blocks the hormone adenosine, which helps regulate glucose and insulin sensitivity. When this happens after eating, especially after a carb-heavy meal, your blood sugar rises faster and stays elevated longer. Studies from Diabetes Journal found that drinking coffee right after meals increased postprandial glucose by 8 to 15%, even in people who ate low carb. That's because caffeine triggers a stress response, releasing adrenaline and cortisol, both of which tell your liver to release more glucose. The fix? If you love coffee, wait at least 1 hour after eating before drinking it. This gives your body enough time to process glucose and stabilize insulin. And if you must drink it sooner, choose decaf. It delivers antioxidants without spiking cortisol or insulin resistance. Coffee can be good for diabetics, just at the right time. Make it part of your morning or mid-afternoon routine, not your post-meal one. Your pancreas will thank you for it. Mistake 6. Reaching for sugar-free desserts. The label says sugar-free, so it must be safe, right? Not exactly. Most of these foods replace sugar with artificial sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame, or asulfame potassium. And while they might not raise blood sugar directly, they still trick your brain and gut into reacting as if they did. Here's what happens. Sweet taste receptors in your tongue send signals to your pancreas, telling it to prepare insulin, even when no sugar enters your bloodstream. This false alarm can confuse your metabolism, increase cravings, and eventually make insulin resistance worse. In one Nature Medicine study, artificial sweeteners were linked to changes in the gut microbiome that promoted glucose intolerance in just 2 weeks. That means your body begins to handle real sugar even worse over time. Instead of reaching for sugar-free cookies or diet sodas, try small amounts of natural alternatives like stevia or monk fruit. Or better, end your meal with a handful of nuts or a few berries. These help stabilize post-meal blood sugar instead of disrupting it. Remember, when something tastes too sweet to be true, it usually is, especially if you have diabetes. Mistake 7. Taking a nap after eating. Feeling sleepy after eating is common, especially after large meals, but for diabetics, it's one of the most dangerous habits. Here's what really happens when you drift off right after lunch or dinner. When you lie down, digestion slows dramatically. Glucose absorption continues, but your muscles aren't burning energy, so blood sugar levels stay elevated for hours. This triggers a stronger insulin response, and over time, that constant strain can lead to deeper insulin resistance. A Frontiers in Endocrinology study found that people who napped within 1 hour after meals were 42% more likely to develop impaired glucose tolerance compared to those who stayed active. But there's another problem. Post-meal sleep increases fat storage. When your body rests, energy that should be burned is converted to fat, especially around the abdomen, where it worsens inflammation and hormone imbalance. If you feel exhausted after eating, it's a red flag. It usually means your meal was too high in refined carbs or sugars, or your insulin sensitivity is declining. Instead of lying down, try stretching, light movement, or a short walk. Your energy will return naturally, no caffeine needed. Sleep well at night, not after every meal. Your blood sugar will thank you. Mistake 8. Drinking fruit juice after a meal. It sounds healthy, but fruit juice is one of the most deceptive natural sugar bombs for diabetics. Even 100% pure juice is stripped of its fiber, leaving only concentrated fructose that rushes into your bloodstream. When consumed after a meal, this is even worse. Your digestive system is already breaking down carbs and proteins, so adding liquid sugar floods your blood with glucose at lightning speed. In a Harvard School of Public Health study, diabetics who drank fruit juice after meals had a 21% higher average glucose spike than those who drank water or tea. Worse, it raised triglycerides and reduced insulin sensitivity for up to 6 hours afterward. Here's the fix. Eat the whole fruit, not the juice. Fiber in whole fruit slows sugar absorption, helping glucose rise gently instead of in sharp peaks. If you crave something sweet after eating, try infused water, lemon, cucumber, or mint. It refreshes you without disrupting blood sugar balance. Every sip of juice might look harmless, but for a diabetic body, it's like pouring gasoline on a slow fire. Have you been drinking juice after your meals thinking it's healthy? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more science-based diabetic health videos that reveal what really works and what doesn't. Mistake 9. Drinking alcohol after eating. Many people think drinking after a meal helps with digestion, but for diabetics, alcohol after eating can quietly send blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. Here's the truth: alcohol temporarily shuts down your liver's ability to release glucose. That means while your body is processing food, it also struggles to stabilize your blood sugar, causing unpredictable spikes or dangerous drops. If you've ever felt dizzy, lightheaded, or unusually tired after a drink, that's your glucose plummeting. Worse, most alcoholic beverages contain hidden sugars and carbs that can keep your glucose high for hours afterward. Wine, beer, and cocktails are especially guilty. According to Diabetes Care, people who drink alcohol within 2 hours of a meal experience an average 37% higher glucose fluctuation throughout the night compared to those who don't. That constant instability exhausts your pancreas and leads to fatigue, headaches, and cravings the next morning. If you do drink, do it occasionally and never on an empty stomach. Stay hydrated and choose low-carb options like dry wine or clear spirits, but always with moderation. Do you notice your blood sugar dropping or rising after a drink? Comment below and subscribe to learn more about the hidden effects of everyday habits like this. Mistake 10. Eating dessert right after your meal. That just one bite habit after dinner can be one of the most damaging. Even small desserts eaten immediately after a meal can cause glucose to surge because your bloodstream is already flooded with sugar from the main course. When you add a dessert on top of that, your pancreas has to release a second wave of insulin to keep up. Over time, this cycle burns out your beta cells, the same ones responsible for insulin production. A clinical nutrition study found that eating dessert within 15 minutes after a meal increased postprandial glucose by up to 32%, while waiting 2 to 3 hours had no significant effect. Your digestive system simply needs time to process what's already in it. If you crave something sweet, go for a walk first. Even 10 minutes helps your body burn off excess glucose. Then if you still want dessert, choose one rich in protein or healthy fats like Greek yogurt with cinnamon or a few pieces of dark chocolate. The key is timing and moderation. Even natural sugars can be poison if layered on top of an already full bloodstream. What's your biggest post-meal weakness? Sweets, coffee, or naps? Tell me below, and don't forget to subscribe for new daily videos that help you master blood sugar the smart way. Conclusion: small habits, big results. When you're managing diabetes, it's not just what you eat, it's what you do after. Every small action either stabilizes your blood sugar or silently destroys it. Avoiding these 10 mistakes can mean the difference between fatigue and focus, between slow decline and real control. Because when you protect your metabolism after every meal, you're not just lowering your glucose, you're rebuilding your health one choice at a time. If you've watched this far, that means you care, and that's already half the battle. Now it's time to act. Tell me in the comments which of these habits surprised you most and which one you'll stop doing today. And if you want daily science-backed videos that teach you how to heal your metabolism naturally, click subscribe and turn on notifications right now. Your body wants to heal, you just need to stop standing in its way.